Okay. Welcome to our Nebraska Department of Education World Language NILA and CLTA K-12 guest speaker webinar, guest speaker series. I'm Crystal Liu. I'm the World Language Specialist at Nebraska Department of Education. Now, we started this series in 2022, and today we have our great speaker, Cara Heminger, and she's one of my best friends. I really appreciate that she spent the time doing this for us. Thank you so much, Cara. I appreciate it. And Cara is a French teacher and department chair at Lincoln North Star High School. She is also NILA board, and she is the president of AATF Nebraska. Before we start, I would like to invite all of you. We have a lot of, we have 4, I'm putting in the chat, okay? So we have 4 webinars during this week because it's Nebraska World Language Week. I put the link to the flyer in the chat. So we're going to have Dr. Teresa Catalano tomorrow to talk about translanguaging. We're going to have Dr. Barbara Butz to talk about why should K-12 world language programs include American Indian languages. Also, we're going to have Dr. Elodie Moeller and Dr. Nick Ziegler to talk about advocate for language for all. Next week on February 28th, we're going to have Paul Sandrak talking about focus on functions, moving from my unit plan to effective lessons. So you are all invited to join whichever webinar you like. Please mark your calendar, and we are looking forward to meet you online again. Now, Sarah, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. I will share my screen. Everything that I show you today, I will be able to share with all of you. So anything you see, documents, photos, or anything, if you are interested, I will have all of these things for you at the end of the presentation. Okay. So we're going to talk about something that I have been doing for 20 years now with our Nebraska French teachers, and that is promoting French. But I would love for it to spread to other world languages here in Nebraska through immersion and competition. A little bit about me. I'm from Minnesota originally, have my BA in French and English from U of M. Got my master's in French literature from UNL and my teaching certificate with Dr. Moeller. I was an assistant in Paris, France, and worked in the modern languages department at UNL as a TA. I have taught in both Omaha and Lincoln since 2000. And then I've been a regional rep and on the NILA board. And then I've won some awards as well that I'm really proud of. I'm especially proud of them because they come from our colleagues, and that means a lot to me because to me, the most important thing is that we connect with our students and our fellow colleagues and we help each other out. And so I always put a little plug in, definitely nominate your colleagues for these awards that come out because it means so much. So take your 5, 10, 15 minutes out, nominate them, write a little story up and get them those awards that come out every year. But what I'm most proud of is my family. My husband, Doug, works for Department of Corrections. We joke that we have kind of the same job as a high school teacher and Department of Corrections. He's deputy warden. I have 3 children, Val, Connor, and Ava. They all went through Lincoln Public Schools. Val and Connor are graduated. They're in college for engineering and corrections. And then Ava's going to graduate in May. She wants to be a teacher. So got one out of the 3 that wants to be a teacher. And then that's my mom in the picture. She still lives in Minnesota. And that's my Jack Russell rooster. And this is my other daughter. We have a French foreign exchange student. She came 2 summers ago, and highly recommend that as well. If you can host someone, we have hosted kids from China, Japan, and France, and it has been wonderful every time. Laura here stayed with us the longest. She stayed with us all summer, 2 summers ago. And then Ava, my daughter, flew over for a month last summer. And those two are best friends. And we're gonna have Laura back again this summer. So that has been wonderful for my daughter to expand her French. So I would love to know who you are. If you wouldn't mind just telling me your name, your school and your town, language you speak, and why you're here today. If you don't mind, you can either put it in the chat or unmute yourself. So can I start with Elsa? That's whose name pops up first for me.
Oh, yes, I am. At Arlington, Nebraska. Here in Nebraska, at Arlington, I work for K through. Uh, 9th, 12th grade in the high school at Arlington.
Okay. Thank you. Next one, the picture was Sacre Care in the background. I don't see a name.
Hi, I think that's me. My name is Han Nguyen. I'm currently a high school teacher at Haddon Township, New Jersey. French is actually my fourth language.
Wow.
So I speak English, Vietnamese at home, I learned Spanish in high school and decided to tack on French. Why I'm here today, I actually inherited a program. This is the first year teaching ever and teaching all 5 levels. So any help I can get, I would appreciate.
I have been there. So yes, you'll have my email and I am here to help you if you need it. Thank you. Well, welcome. Is Haddon Township, is that Collingswood?
It's right next to Collingswood.
I have some friends there. All right, Mr. Jim Chvala.
Chavala, you got it. Yep, I'm at Palmer, Nebraska. We're a Class D school. And I actually teach to 4 other schools also, so not just at Palmer.
Wow.
I teach Spanish, and I'm in my 30th, well, actually 33rd year of Spanish teaching. But you know, I saw the title of this presentation today and thought, wow, I always want to promote our languages, and the competition side, I don't see a lot of competition things out this way for Spanish.
Yeah, actually, I would love it if Spanish would do something like this. German does for sure, and French, but I'm not sure about the other languages. So good. Jorge. Let's see, or we could go to Ying.
Hello, hi. I'm a Chinese teacher in Batesville Middle School. What else I should say while you're here today? I like to participate all the learning opportunities. I know every teacher has their like special skills. I always like to know more strategies or other teachers' experience. It's good to learn. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Well, good to meet you all. So let me get started then. So I want you to think back and type in the chat. I want you to think back when you were learning another language. So not your first language, but learning a language in school. And what are some of your favorite memories? Think back to when you were in junior high, high school, college. What are some experiences you had with your teacher, your friends, in or out of school that had to do with your language, learning that language? Go ahead and type in the chat some of your favorite memories, and I will as well. Oh, hello, Jorge. I see yours now. You need your PD certificate. Well, I hope this is helpful. And if you're unable to type because you're driving or something, you could always unmute too. So I wrote a few of mine in the chat if you need ideas of what I'm thinking of what I got to do. Ooh, Han, I like that. Low stakes discussions. Yes. Moving away from textbooks. Skits. Ooh, good. We're going to touch on both of those things today. Good. More activities. Good, Han. Yep. But Han, it's okay that you're sticking with what you have. Survival mode your first year. Don't feel bad. Yeah, I guess what I was hoping that you would think back to are just things that weren't necessarily in a textbook, that the things that made you continue with your second, third, or fourth language were the fun things, maybe having a pen pal, maybe getting to go to restaurants and order in the language, taking a trip. Even we got to go to French plays. We'd go to Minneapolis, Minnesota and see Les Miserables or something. Those are the kind of things that stuck with me and made me want to major in college. So here's the goal of my presentation today. I'm going to try to make the chat smaller here for me. Crystal, I'll let you let me know if anyone has a question for me in the chat. So just a brief history. I have 2 highlight reels. They're going to look the same at first, but they are different. I'll tell you about how we pre-plan our competition events, our immersion events. Also, even if you don't want to do an event, you might see some activities that you could do in your classrooms. I'll show you the actual event and how we schedule it throughout the 24 hours. Talk about the student feedback that we elicit, some things to consider, and how to contact me for help after this. Just a little history. Back in 1995-ish, these are some teachers from Nebraska who had an idea to have an immersion camp. And we've always had it grades 9 through 12 just for the maturity level, but I do know that some schools have done this for middle schoolers. So work with who you have, especially if you know them and trust them. It's fine. We just have always kept this at 9 through 12. And then I do have in italics here that we do run a day-long thing that I'm not really going to talk about today. I could do a presentation on the day-long thing another day. We do it every other year. That does allow 6 through 12. We since that's just during the day, it's not a sleepover, but because of the sleepover element, we keep it 9 through 12. So in Ashland, Nebraska, which is between Omaha and Lincoln, there's a wonderful retreat center. We have used their hotel. It got a little expensive, so now we use their Western Town, which you'll see some pictures of, and it's actually perfect for what we need it for. And every year since 95, we've had between 50 and 150 kids, and then usually minimum 10 teachers up to 25 teachers. Unfortunately, the last few years, I will say it's been mostly Omaha and Lincoln teachers. I feel like it's getting harder and harder for the teachers west of Lincoln to get to events, but also there aren't as many either. So we do try to reach out to the Western teachers, and that's why we don't go to Aurora anymore. We used to go to Aurora, which is farther west in Nebraska, but now we've pretty much kept it to the east because people just aren't traveling that far. So in brief, what is this auberge that I'm talking about? So auberge in French means basically French camp, or an auberge de jeunesse is a youth hostel, if you know, something like that. So it's a youth camp, and it's just an immersion, 24 hours. The kids come around 11 a.m. on a Saturday and they leave around 11 a.m. on a Sunday. And we try to speak to them in French the entire time, encourage them to speak. We feed them a lot and keep them happy. We feed them French food. We have a very full schedule. We try not to have a lot of downtime. Although by downtime, I mean, we don't want them to be bored. We do give them free time because we do want them to get to know each other. We found a lot of kids the last 5-10 years don't go to camps. They have never gone camping. So it's for some of them, this is their first time kind of at a sleepaway camp, being with kids not from their schools, that kind of thing. So we've been aware of that as well. And so I'll show you what we've added for some fun as well. The main thing is the competition. We break them into teams before they even get there. So we ask teachers, what are the kids' strengths? Who are your leaders? Who are your musical kids? We don't want all the musical kids in one group. We don't want all the jocks in one group. We want to mix them up a little bit. Boys, girls, age levels. We don't want all the seniors in one group. You know, we don't want all the kids from North Star High School in one group. So we try to sprinkle the kids as much as we can into different groups. We call them by color. That's how they started doing it at the beginning, les bleus, les violets, les noirs, so all the different colors. And then they compete. And the biggest competition is a lip sync video, which I'll tell you about here in a minute. All right, so I'm going to show you a highlight reel. I hope it doesn't like stall and stuff for you. It's about 7 minutes. It's going to show you some well, first of all, you'll get a view of the camp. You'll get a view of the variety of kids we have. It'll give you a view of some of our music videos that they've recorded and the activities they play, and the food, things like that. Also sprinkled throughout are comments that the kids wrote, because we are using this as promotion for the next one that we are doing. So it is about 7 minutes, but I think it's worth it for you to see the whole thing. If it is not coming through very well on your end, just know that I will share this presentation with you and you'll be able to watch it again on your own, and hopefully it'll play better. But let's hope this plays for you. So here we go. That's my daughter. I brought her to the last one. This is the breakout room that I will tell you about.
Si maintenant n'existe pas, la seule vérité, c'est toi et moi. Le retour à un, le retour à un, le retour à un, et que 1, 2, 3, 4, le retour à un, 4 départ, le retour à un, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pour tout ce que je veux, c'est quelqu'un de bien. Suivre mon instinct, ce qu'il me faut, c'est partir au loin. Partir vers l'au-delà, vers de nouveaux exploits. Pour moi, il n'y a que choix, c'est de lancer avec toi. Partir vers l'au-delà, vers de nouveaux exploits. Pour moi, il n'y a que choix, c'est de lancer avec toi.
Don't know what you're doing around these here parts, but you're on the wrong side of town. I think our girls need to do the talking. It's time for a draw.
All right, so that gives you an idea of what the kids did. So I will go through a little bit. Any questions before I move on? I see some chat. Let's see. Okay. All right, I'll keep moving here. So just to let you know what goes into a day like this, and I'll also explain some of the games they were playing for those of you that don't want to run an event, but maybe you want to play some of the games. So basically, those of us on the board, so in Nebraska here, there are 4 of us on the board for French teachers. And we have probably 40 French teachers involved in our group, and probably 20 that are really involved, and then probably about 15 that come consistently to these events. And so we secure the date. You definitely have to have money, so people pay their dues. And it's a good $1,500 down payment for a place like that. You saw the Western town. And so you'll see how much we charge the kids here in a moment. We get insurance from our national organizations. So if you are part of your national organization for your language, you can get a certificate from them, which is really nice. So if something did happen to a student or you, it is covered by them, which I really like. You create room lists. So basically we have the males stay in one cabin and the females in another. And then we have, we pretty much let the kids stay by their schools. So that like all of Bellevue kids stay together and Lincoln East kids stay together. And then their teachers are pretty much in a room near them. The teachers aren't in the same room with the kids, but they're in a room near the kids. And then the board, so me and then Terry is in the picture there. We print out the games. We do a lot of texting and emailing ahead of time. So that's it's a lot of work ahead of time. The day of is actually probably less work. Then the participating teachers. So if you're going to bring some students, basically you promote the event, and we just ask that the kids be somebody's mic is on, FYI. So promote your event, and we just ask that the kids are nice and responsible. We don't even ask that they be super good in French, just that they'll try. We gather prizes. So all those prizes that you'll see, we just have them, either they're ours already, or we look for the dollar store, Target dollar spot, things we get when we're traveling, things we know the kids will like, candy, that kind of stuff. We just gather prizes, snacks and drinks. And then we supervise games and events, which I'll show you in a minute. And then we just encourage the kids to speak French all day. And then we have little tickets. And so we rip them in half. And if we hear a student saying more than bonjour, like at first when they just say bonjour, we give them a ticket. But after a while, it's like, you got to say more than bonjour. Like you have to try to say something more to us. And we try to pull it out of them, or maybe we hear them encouraging their team, allez, allez, or something. And then we hand out bon point. And then the bon point, which means good points, those go into a drawing, and then they can get prizes that way too. So not just by winning their team events, but they can get prizes for speaking French. So that's what bon point are. So as teachers during the event, we have all these tickets in our hands. And so some kids are really motivated by that, and they're coming running up, really making it clear that they're speaking French. And it's kind of a late night. We're pretty much up till midnight or 1. Here's how, so we used to have kind of a boring poster, but we added this breakout room that I'll show you in a minute. And so a teacher sent me this, and then one of my former teachers that I work with, she knows Canva really well. So she made this for us, and this I really like. So this is our official poster that we used this year. So I highly recommend, if you do something like this, to make a really nice poster on Canva. It's worth your time. And so our price was $70 per student. We don't usually make too much money off of this. We can sometimes make money if we get a lot of kids, but this one, being the first one since COVID, we pretty much broke even on this one. But if you can get a lot of kids coming, you can make a little money on this kind of thing for your group. to use for the next one, and even to lower the price. We also got a grant from the Alliance Française in Omaha. They helped us pay $500 toward our down payment, which was nice. But this was pictures from the previous one that had been right before COVID. So that was our poster that we advertised with. Our location is called Camp Carol Joy Hauling. It's not too far from the SAC Museum, right off of I-80, right between Omaha and Lincoln. Super easy for the kids to find. And this Western town, you guys, as you noticed from the video, the kids find lots of places to film their videos. It's a safe place, easy to find, easy for Omaha, Lincoln. If we were statewide, we would probably try to go a little farther west, like Aurora or Grand Island, but unfortunately, not a lot of schools. Internet's a big one. Make sure your place has internet. The kids need that for the video competition. And then make sure the food is good. It's really important. One year we kind of had bad food. The kids didn't let us forget it. If the food is bad, they're not happy and they'll complain about everything. So the morning of, I get there early and a couple teachers get there early. We bring a couple of our most responsible students to help us tape up arrows, like here's how you get to this room or that room. We put all the kids who are sleeping in certain rooms with their names, so it's really clear where they go. And we get there about 8 a.m. So for a couple hours, we are setting everything up, getting all the games put in the rooms where they're going to be, getting all the schedules posted. A lot of setup beforehand so that it just runs really smoothly. And this is the kind of thing that takes a lot of time, but that's why I'm doing this for you guys, because if you decide to do this, I'll just give you my stuff and then you can plug in your stuff. So it'll be a little easier for you. As the students arrive, they all kind of arrive at different times unless a big bus comes with them, which never happens. So I have a lot of stuff for them to do, like coloring and Mancala, which is a bead game, things to keep them chatting and getting to know each other. They also go put their suitcases in their room. And then we break them up into their color teams, which they will pretty much, I would say for about 70% of the time, be with their team. Depending on how many kids are there, there are 4 to 8 kids on a team. So this past time there were 4 or 5 kids because we only had 70 kids, but when we've had 150 kids, there's more like 10 kids per team. And we declare a team leader, and the team leader's job is just to keep them on track, to look at the schedule, to just make sure everybody's together, to encourage them. We ask the teachers to have someone strong in French, strong leader, to be the team leader. So we have the first thing to get them talking is to have them make a team flag with a motto. In French, we call it a devise. So we have oui, 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 baguette for that team. Les rouges en feu, reds are on fire. Équipe rose, les roses radiants, so the radiant roses. So we have about 10 colors, and that's their flag. When there's time, which we didn't this past year, when there's time, we sometimes play Capture the Flag as our very last game, but we did not have time this year. So this is what a schedule looks like. Now it is in French, but I want to show you that it's not as confusing as it seems at first. This is literally the same schedule 4 times. So let me say that again. It is the same schedule 4 times. Basically, you'll see these are the team names. It's their colors. So here, pink and black are going to start filming their videos. And then pink and black, so pink and black are going to do that. At the same time, red and yellow are going to go play some games, draw a monster in Jenga. Blue and violet are going to go Pictionary, and it's called Cri des mots, where you yell words, Outburst. They're going to play Outburst. And then the orange and green are going to go to the breakout. So then we do the same 4 games again, same 4 games again. So if you are me and Mr. Grimm here, we help the kids with the videos all 4 times. If you are Madame Frost and Mr. Ringland, you did the draw a monster and Jenga all 4 times. We kind of just kept it simple that way. So the teachers stay in the same place, and it's the kids that move. And then in the evening, again, it's the same schedule 4 times. So every color goes through and every color competes with every team. So red competes with yellow here, but red competes with green here. Red competes with green here. Red competes with purple here.
Oh, Cara, we have a question in the chat.
Yeah, is a rotation of groups into different, yes. So the groups move from activity to activity. So every group will do every activity. They'll just do it at different times. The only I will say this, and we're going to make this change. So the bad thing this year, I'm going to back up a little bit. Years and years ago, teachers had to do all the filming of the video because kids didn't have smartphones. This was the first year we let the kids do everything, because now that they have TikTok and Snapchat and YouTube and all those video things, you guys, they just all could do everything on their phone. The music, the video, the editing, all of them have that on their phones now. Even in 2019, before COVID, not every kid had that. We still had to use like our iMovie and stuff on our computers, and teachers had to do a lot more work, which is why this very first one here with me and Mr. Grimm about filming videos here, we had to take like a whole time to help the kids with their videos. They didn't need as much time anymore. They got their ideas, they knew what they wanted to do, and they ran out and filmed it. And then they're so fast at editing. I mean, the kids today, you guys, you would not believe how fast they can edit the music. And I'm going to show you a bunch of their videos here in a few minutes. It's amazing. You won't believe what they did in just like an hour or 2. So on the next one, this thing here, this video one, we're actually going to take this out, make it another game, or possibly like a get to know you, because the kids were asking for more of like team bonding, like getting to know each other. So I think we're going to take that out. And instead, down here, where at the end of the night here, this will be the only time kind of that they get, maybe later in the afternoon when it's still light, like right before dinner, after dinner, and then we have a campfire. So kind of moving into the campfire, that'll be the time when they record their videos. So they'll kind of have all day to think about their video, and then they'll kind of do it more in the afternoon. So it'll be lots of games, getting to know you, and then I think we'll leave the video for the afternoon. So that's how we're going to change it. We had it like this, like I said, because teachers used to have to do way more. We didn't have to do anything this year. The kids did everything with their phones. So it's pretty cool. I personally think it's amazing. As a child of the 70s, I just can't believe what these kids can do in 2 hours on their phone. So this is what it looks like. So this is something that I'm going to share with you, and you could then see like how easy it is to make a schedule and just team kids up. And then you'll see I have 2 different games each time. You could just make it 1 game if you want. And here I had Pictionary or Kahoot. And what I did was I let the teacher pick. So I let Madame Mills and Madame Maupin pick. I said, whichever one you think the kids want to play, Kahoot or Pictionary, and I had them both ready for them. Kahoot is a computer game, and Pictionary would have been a draw, and they picked Pictionary. You could see them doing it in the video where they were drawing. So that's a little bit of what the day looks like. So I'll go to the next one. So here are some of our games. So for this one on the left, the kids had to close their eyes if they were drawing, and they had to draw a monster. And the team had to tell them go to the left, go up, go down, draw this, draw that, and they had to do it in French. So the teacher that was helping helped them practice first. They didn't just send them into it because the kids are all levels. We actually had some level 1s this year. So they had only had, we did this in September. We did it early this year. A couple kids had only had about a month of French. They were good sports. But we helped them, you know, how to say, go up, go down, go to the left, go right, and help them with some words. And we're not ogres or anything. If they're struggling, we help them. But the kids had to draw a monster with their eyes closed, and then the teachers voted on which team had the best monster for some points. And I'll show you our point sheets. This game here, these are food items laid out on the table. 2 teammates. So this is one team on this side. This is one team on this side. So like this girl in blue down here would go against this boy with the curly hair, and they start heading toward each other. So he goes this way, she comes this way, and they're saying the words. And as soon as they come to the same word, they have to rock, paper, scissors with their hands. You guys know rock, paper, scissors. And whoever wins gets to keep going, and whoever loses has to go back to the beginning. This game is crazy because it's a game of chance. You're just trying to get to the other end, saying the vocabulary words in French. This one is so fun. The kids love it. And so I could teach you guys how to play this one. This is one you guys could do in your class very, very easily with vocabulary cards. This one is called Taper les mots, and it's 2 kids against each other. So these 2 kids each have a fly swatter. There are French words laid out. The teacher is kind of in the corner back here. At first she started just saying like dog, and then they had to hit chien. They had to find it, and whoever hit it first got it. But then she noticed it was getting too easy, so she would say, c'est pas un chat, you know, it's not a cat. You know, so she started leveling it up a little depending on who the kids were. And so that was really fun. So teams were against each other, and then whoever got the most cards won that game. So those are the kind of games we play, very active. We keep them busy, all in French. Something new the last 2 years, or I say 2 years ago, but it was 2019. COVID time is crazy. We did Ratatouille. So it was a restaurant. And then this past year we did Cinderella. We did breakout rooms. Now this took a lot of work for the teacher that did it, but she got all these props with a grant from her school. Now in all these props, you guys, she had hidden clues. So in all these props, in the flowers, in the boxes, in the baskets, she had hidden props. And Cinderella here, if the kids were stuck, Cinderella would start sweeping toward the clues. It was really cute. So these were students of the teacher that did the breakout room. So when the teams found a clue, they had to read the clue in French, solve it to find the next clue. Once the clues were found, there might be a puzzle to put together or something. And then it would give you a clue to open a box. And then when you finally got all the clues, it opened a box with a glass slipper. And so if you saw in the video, there was one group that opened the box and then they pulled out the glass slipper. So these were the kids that helped set it up each time as all the groups went through, and they timed each group. And so the group that had the shortest amount of time got the most points for that one. So this took a lot of time for the teacher that did it, but well worth it. The kids loved it, absolutely loved it. So this is something I could help you with as well. So here they are rolling out the pink. These are the clues they would find, these pink papers. There were pink clues, yellow clues. And once they solved them all, then it would open the box. So very cute. And there's the glass slipper. Then during free time, we encouraged the kids to just spend time with each other. Some of the kids started teaching each other, you know, hand clap things. They danced, played the piano, they sat and told stories. It's really fun. I'm just gonna put a little plug out here, you guys. This generation, they don't get these kind of experiences very much. They are, you know, you hear a lot about anxiety and they're on their phones all the time and they're nervous and but they relaxed and they loved just sitting and talking and laughing and having fun. These kids did not know each other before they got here, and look at them just sitting and chilling. So we do try to give them a little bit of downtime for them to just enjoy. And they were speaking French. It was really cute. They were really, really trying to speak French even during their downtime. So now for the best part, the lip sync videos. Any questions before I tell you about the video competitions? This is the biggest part. So this gets the most points for the team. We used to decide on 3 or 4 songs as teachers, and we would send the songs out ahead of time to the participants and say, get to know these 3 or 4 songs, and then your team will pick one. Well, there's something called Mani Musical now every February and March nationwide, and they put out 16 songs. And the kids have all been doing them here in Nebraska. So a lot of the kids knew these songs. So we just told them they could pick any Mani Musical song that their group wanted to. So you'll see here in a minute that we couldn't believe it. They picked such a variety of songs. It was really nice. So you can choose them ahead of time or not. You can make the kids memorize them if you want. We handed out lyrics for them so they didn't feel they had to memorize them, especially since we had a lot of level 1 and 2 kids. You could also use them in class ahead of time. We had one teacher who brought their whole level 5 class. So she had used some songs ahead of time in class. So she had connected the auberge ahead of time. And then we had several teachers bring props. So you'll see all these kind of fun props that they got to use. Or none of the above, I wrote. You can kind of do whatever you want with the songs. You could use old songs. The kids kind of prefer the new songs. What we did was let them choose this year from Mani Musical. This is a teacher helping them film right here. So we give them time to film, provide their costumes and props. Some of them use them, some of them don't. One group, the group that you saw start the video with my daughter in it, they actually couldn't get the props because the prop person hadn't arrived yet. And they were on the schedule. They were the first group to record. And so my daughter was so mad. She was like, I can't believe I didn't get to use any props, you know, and she's all about the props. So that's why that group doesn't have any props on. Also, then we have a rubric that I'll show you. And so we watch all the videos once the kids are done and we judge them on some things. And then we show all the videos on Sunday morning so that the kids can see everybody's. So are you ready to see a mashup? A few of them you've seen little clips, but these will be all of the videos. So a little bit will be a tiny bit of repeat of what you've seen. Oh, let's see. I see a question first. Just curious if there are any activities with detailed explanation. Yes, I will provide you a document with details on every single game. It'll be linked in this presentation for you. All right, so here's the video mashup. This is going to be all the groups and the songs they picked. And so I want you to kind of notice the different levels of kids and their skills. Some of them have really good lip sync skills. I want you to notice how some are telling a story. That we judge on lip sync skills, telling a story, use of costumes. We did not down judge the one group who the costumes hadn't arrived yet. And what's the other thing? Use of like dance or different moves, like where they move in sync. So here we go.
Il y a des jours où il pleut, il fait beau, mon amour, on va tous mourir demain. Go have your feelings, go have your heart. Ce sera trop facile, tu penses que tu seras plus
quand j'ai mal à la vie, quand je détourne la pluie, je fais le 36, quel bonheur. Quand la mer en conflit, le requin tout en gris, je fais le 36, quel bonheur. 36, 15, 36, 36, 15, 36, 36, 15, 36, 36, 15, donc on joue, peu importe gagner.
He's one of the first year kids.
C'est à dire, si on est les années, et tant pis. Il y aura des jours sans, des galères, des soirées qui feront venir le soleil en pleine nuit.
You see their video editing. They did this all themselves.
D'avoir de tes nouvelles, j'en avais plus depuis longtemps. Fais en sorte que je me rappelle de ce que t'appelles le bon vieux temps. C'est loin que je m'en souvienne d'elle nous dire ouais, je suis le vent. Tu remets comme si de rien n'était, comme si t'étais jamais parti. T'as la moustique en été, tu crois venir lâcher ma vie. Je pense que tu tout ce temps, t'étais du perdu. Je suis déçu tout autant que toi tu t'es tu.
This one has a story. Little wizard trying to attack. This is the winner.
C'est beau, et après tout, tu es dans le noir jusqu'au cou, passe par chez nous, c'est chez nous, c'est dans nos bordels. Si maintenant n'existe pas, la seule vérité, c'est toi et moi. Nous, c'est chez nous, et c'est dans nos bordels.
Viens tous les matins, elle accroche son tablier comme tous les jours, comme si de rien. Elle se dit sa journée, sa vie entre ses mains, c'est pas celle que l'on connaît. C'est tous les jours le même refrain. C'est là que ça craint, heureux ça m'éteint. Quand elle chante, elle fait du bien. C'est vrai, Ça craint d'autres samedis, je chante dans la salle de bain. C'est vrai, pour les gens qui disent on ne retient que ça comme ça. Dans les schools. Hello, hola, hello. I just smell like exciting. Hello, hola,
C'est quelque part dans mon malheur, je me questionnais sur le bonheur. C'est plus facile de noyer dans mon silence que rembattre perdu dans ma souffrance. Trop de destin, entrevois la tombée sur mon chemin. Nos exploits, pour moi, il n'y a que choisir de danser avec toi. Pourquoi ne pas suivre le courant? Une pression étire des moments sublimes, le temps immobile, le pied navire. Rien n'arrive pour rien, pour tout ce que je veux, c'est quelqu'un de bien. Suivre mon instinct, comment ce qu'il me faut, c'est partir au loin. Partir vers l'au-delà, vers de nouveaux exploits. Pour moi, il n'y a que choix, c'est de danser avec toi. Partir vers l'au-delà, vers de nouveaux exploits. Pour moi, il n'y a que choix, c'est de danser avec toi. Je danse avec toi, sentiment de quand je danse avec toi, de tristesse plus de richesse. Je danse avec toi, qui m'agresse. Quand je danse avec toi.
1, 2, 3, on y va, on y va. 4, 5, 6, bébé, on a du bis. 7, 8, 9, dans mon panier, 10. C'est le son de ma musique, je calcule et j'en profite. 1, 2, 3, on y va, on y va. 4, 5, 6, bébé, on a du bis. 7, 8, 9, dans mon panier, 10. C'est le son de ma musique, je calcule et j'en profite. Like, let me drop some French and some English too. I know you're ready to say, comment allez-vous? Playing with the rhythm and falling with the groove. Et ben c'est ma love en français, c'est le grand amour. À la fin de 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Le retour à 1, le retour à 1, le retour à 1. Et que 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, baby.
So I wanted to show you those to show you the range that these kids did with just a couple of hours and their own phones. So you do not have to do anything with technology or video or anything. You just have to say to them, bring your phones and your chargers and provide them with some fun backgrounds and things like that. And they just, that's what they'll do. You could see some of the kids, you know, really weren't as into it. You can't help that, you know, but a lot of the kids were trying pretty hard. So those then, what we did then in the evening, we added this the last 2 times, the campfire, and the kids absolutely love this. This is something we will, we've just had the campfire, and I think what we're gonna do is do something a little bit, some sort of French campfire song or something. So there's at least one thing that's a little bit directed for it, but otherwise the kids were having so much fun. They were singing their own camp songs. They were telling jokes. They just did not want it to end. We made s'mores, that kind of thing. So very fun. I highly recommend something like this if you do an overnight. A lot of them had never had a campfire, if you can believe that. So highly recommend that. So here's our prizes. So like I was saying, we were giving out bon point over the 24 hours. So they go to bed after the campfire. Most of them are pretty tired. You do have some that stay up and talk all night, but a lot of them do fall asleep. And in the morning, then we get up, we pack, we have breakfast, and they turn in all their bon point with their names on it, or they don't even have to write names necessarily because they've ripped it in half. So we have their number and then they have the number. And we have the prize tables here. So you'll see we have a variety of small prizes and big prizes. So we make a small prize table and a big prize table. I guess I didn't really get a picture of the small prize table. The small prize table had like stickers, bookmarks, oh, just little like candy bars, things like that. Things that are like worth $2 and under, you know, just little things. And then these that you're seeing right now, these two pictures are the big prizes that were more for the teams that win. So we did a mix of drawing from the Bon Point and letting them go get small prizes. And they just love it. They run to the prize table. It's so fun. And then we add up all the teams. We give a prize for the team that gets the best video overall. We let them go up and get a prize. And then we add up the team's points overall for all of their games that they've played. And then we give first prize, let them go up first, and then second, third. And then we just start drawing Bon Point until all the prizes are gone. And oh my gosh, the kids just run up. They just love it. So like this, for example, is a crepe maker that I got from my own kitchen. You know, I didn't spend any money on that. Someone had gotten the little prince and the foxes when they were in France. A Starbucks cup someone got in Paris. A pillow they said they got on clearance at TJ Maxx, that kind of thing. So we're always looking for cheap things. The kids took everything. They get excited no matter what it is. So that's the prizes. For food, we used to charge teachers to come to the camp, but instead now we have them bring granola bars, apples, bananas, healthy snacks, French snacks if they can, and then drinks like Gatorade, water, that kind of stuff, so that even though they serve us the 3 meals, the kids just are hungry the whole time. So that way there's a snack table and kids can eat kind of whenever they're hungry. But that's a picture of a bunch of us teachers at one of the meals. Then another thing we do Sunday morning is the kids get a piece of this poster. It's all cut up. And while the prizes are being announced and while they're filling out their commentary, they color this. And then we quickly tape it up. And then we take our group photo by it. So this is a cool thing. We got it off Teachers Pay Teachers, I think. It might have been free, I think, actually. You can get them. They have several of them. You just cut them up, give them to the kids to color, and then hang them up in your classroom or something. But we just did it for the group photo. Real quickly, here's some of the student feedback we've gotten. So basically, before we let them see the reveal video, we make them fill out the Google form. And then we added a lot of comments to our promo video, which you saw, and they were mostly positive. The only, and I wouldn't even call it negative, was just like, we want more time to record. We want less time to record. You know, they say both. We want more campfire time. We want less campfire time. It's kind of funny. They either want more or less of something. Here are a few that I'll just let you scan. I love this bottom one when they say I would totally go again. That makes me happy. I love the made new friends. I love this one. Can't wait to go again next year, which makes me feel bad because we usually do it every other year. It's making me wonder if we need to do it every year. Here's some more. And then I think just one more slide of it. So the kids loved it. And it's just so rare to get something like this where the feedback is almost all positive. So it just warms my heart that the students loved it this much. Oh, I like this one. Look at this bottom one. They're really nervous at first one. And I think what they mean is I think they were worried they wouldn't understand it. But I think they realized that they did. You know, we were speaking French pretty much the whole time, and but we were kind with them, you know, and we helped, and we were encouraging. So I won't make you read all these, but so a couple of things to consider. I'm almost done. So the price, $70 is starting to be a lot of money, and we didn't really make a lot of money. We're almost needing to start charging more. We don't make a lot of money in our group at all. And it's just getting, you know, things are so expensive. The camp is charging us more, food is costing more, everything's costing more. Do look for things like grants and, you know, groups. You know, we got the $500 grant from the Alliance Française, which we appreciated so much, to try to charge kids less. You might not realize it, but a lot of our kids do struggle with money. And so $70 is a lot for a lot of these kids. And you might just think, oh, it's just $70, but to them it's a lot. And so think about the price when you do this kind of thing. And if you can, keep it as cheap as you can. The time, I wrote time because it's a lot of your time. It really is. And every single year I think, I'm not going to do this again. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. And then as I was putting this together, I'm like, well, of course I'm going to do this again. I love it. You know, that look at the smiles on these kids' faces. Why would I not do this again? You know, I can put myself out there for a little bit. And then there's the impact. So I want to show you some impact. Going back to my original question, you know, when you think back to learning a language, so I want you to imagine the impact if you take your language and you add some fun somehow, even if it's not an overnight thing. Maybe you add some fun games or a competition of music, you know, make them record a music video or something. Or you team up your kids over several weeks and have them do like a class Olympics or something, and you keep score. But we've had 70 plus students at over 15 auberges over the years. So do the math there. What do you think all these students remember? Right? When you ask them, oh, you were in French in high school, what do you remember? I bet all those kids say the auberge. And what will they do with their French? So do you see this girl in the corner here? She came to the auberge with me. She was my student at North Star. Now she's a teacher at Bennington in Omaha. Brett came with me to auberge. He is a teacher now here in Lincoln. Drew came with me to auberge. He's a French teacher now in Missouri. Emily came to auberge with me. She was a French teacher. Now she is living in Brazil with her Brazilian husband and her bilingual baby. T used his French in the Peace Corps in a French-speaking African country, creating hand washing stations. He came to auberge with me. So what is the impact of something like auberge? And this is just a smattering of my students that have gone on to use their French in their jobs. So here is a group, this boy, his mom is a teacher. This is an Italian foreign exchange student. This is one of Amy's students. And then she's my student, Hannah, and this is my daughter. For sure, my daughter wants to be a French teacher. Hannah wants to do something with French, and Braxton for sure wants to do something with French. He's fluent in French and Italian. Not sure about this girl, but her French seemed pretty darn good. What does the future hold for this group that came to something like auberge? What will they spread? want you to think about that impact. So that's all I have for you, other than this last one. Someone asked me about the documents. I have them all here. The one someone asked about is game instructions. This is how to play all the games. But back to the contacting me, I am happy to Zoom with any of you and like actually show you how to play the games. You know, I'm pretty good. You'll ask my kids. I'm good at explaining games. I'm happy to explain any of the games and share templates I have for them, things like that. So that's all I have for you. Do you guys have questions? I'll stop sharing my screen.
Are you okay to share the slides with teachers because they are asking for it?
Yes, I will share these slides. Should I just share it with you, Crystal, and you share it, or what's the easiest way?
Yeah, I actually copied it and just asking for your permission. Yeah.
Yes, you may.
Okay, thank you.
Let me make sure the permissions are. Let me stop the share.
Yeah, it works. I tested it.
Good.
Any questions? Please unmute yourself and you can just ask questions.
Yeah, even if you don't do an overnight thing and you're just teaching, I think you could have a little competition. Every spring, my other French teacher, Melissa, and me, we do Olympics, we call them, in our classes, and we group the kids up kind of randomly, and we keep scores amongst classes even, and then award prizes that we've just amassed over the year, kind of crazy prizes. The kids will work hard for anything. And we just try to make it fun. So we use a lot of these same games.
Yeah, do you have their checklist so that if teachers want to do it, you know, there are a lot of things to consider, like consent form from parents, you know, waiver or whatever, and a lot of things. Do you have a checklist to share? Or
Yeah, so I did share that. There's I think I shared the form where parents sign
okay.
with you. And that varies by school. So like I do a Lincoln Public Schools one as well. So I would definitely check with your school if they have one. But because it's not technically a Lincoln Public School one, we just made one for AATF, but I still kind of do a Lincoln Public School one just so the parents know. Does that make sense? I mean, just so that they're not drinking or smoking or
Yes. Oh, I see the waiver and yeah, they're post. Okay. Yeah, do you have a checklist for preparation?
I can look. I don't know that I do. If I do, I'll add it.
Okay, great. Because you know, for me, if I plan something, I will forget this and then later maybe that, you know. I'm clueless sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Any other questions from teachers?
Hi, this is Jane. I'm sorry, my camera is not working today. Just curious, I mean, I just jumped in late, but I'm just curious how many, I don't know how many weeks earlier that will take you to prepare all of this before it's study, you know, finally carrying out.
Yeah, we had it in the fall this year, but normally we have it in the spring. And we start promoting it in January or February to have it in April. This year we promoted it in May. And then right away in August, like first week of school, to promote it, to get kids to sign up. And then for me to start, getting all that stuff ready, pretty much it was August, the month of August, to have it in September, the month of August, like during school, maybe half an hour a day, I would answer some emails and get one game ready, and get it ready to go, print it off. I took one afternoon where I stayed late and printed a bunch of games off. You know, it does take some time. You have to kind of maybe come in on a Saturday or something. The first time you do it, you might be very nervous. I would maybe do it with somebody. I mean, I could run it by myself now. I've done it so many times, but I would definitely try to find someone. If you are here in Nebraska, I'd be happy to come and spend the day with you and help you on if you wanted to run something like this your first time. And also, I mentioned at the beginning, we also do one that's only a day. It's from like 9 to 3. And it's at an Omaha high school every other year. And it has like poetry competition, singing. It's kind of like a language fair, cuisine competition where kids bring food and we taste it, you know. So that one, it's a lot of work as well, but it's not overnight. You know, we don't have to keep the kids busy overnight. That might be a good one to do, is just a day or a half a day, you know, hosted at your school. And maybe it's just 2 schools competing or something. That's an idea. Keep it small. We don't do dances. I see a question, any dances at the auberge, but we do dances at the convention one. So every other year we do a dance competition. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm. And that's a lot of fun. And we do, they can dance alone or they can dance with a group. It just has to be French or Francophone. So from
Yeah.
Africa or Vietnam or somewhere.
Yeah, I have a question. You have so many cool games, a lot of games you have to set it up. I'm wondering whether you have a treasure chest for each of the games.
I'll tell you what, most of my games are really basic. Like they
Okay.
just use vocab cards of either
Okay.
pictures or words of really basic vocabulary, but you can use them many different ways.
Okay.
Maybe I have a vocab set of activities like going to the cafe, going to the lake, going to the beach, playing baseball. But you can play that fly swatter with them. You can play the rock, paper, scissors with them. You can play Outburst with them, right? With the same set. So it's not that I'm reinventing the words. I'm using vocab cards I already have for my class, but I'm just making a different game.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
yeah, and then I've got some trivia games listed. So basically, if you can just find some basic trivia about your language and your countries, and save those questions, then you can cut those up. So it's just trivia, right? But you cut them up, lay them on the floor, and the kids have to find the answer. So all you did was take questions, cut them up, and you have a game. So I try to keep the games really simple like that.
Mhm. Do you laminate the flashcards so that you can recycle them?
Yes. So we had laminated them and then we had to move and they all got lost. So I'm going to laminate them.
Okay.
Right now they're not, but yes, we do laminate them.
Okay.
It really keeps them nice. It's worth laminating when you know you're going to use them.
Thank
So
you. This is awesome.
and another, I didn't mention, I keep, even though we get kids all the way through level 5, you know, and we get some native speakers, we keep all the vocabulary for our games levels 1 and 2, basically. That way it's just more inclusive. And then since we've mixed the teams by levels a little bit, it's just more fair, I feel like. And then the kids feel confident playing the games. So there's no super hard words, like there's just no crazy words that you would only see, you know, in level 4 or AP or something. We keep the games pretty basic, like weather, food, activities, sports, school, you know, those words that they're seeing a lot. So they feel comfortable in the games.
Yeah, that makes sense for a competition, like all kids together. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much. This is very inspiring. I want to do one, but I don't have kids.
I'm willing to help anyone that decides to do one.
Yeah, I will try to persuade their Chinese and Spanish and German teachers to do it.
Han, you should reach out to me if you want some ideas. I had to teach all 5 levels my first years too, so please reach out. I can share some stuff with you.
Thank you. And
Thank
I
you,
think
everybody.
let's call it a day. So thank you so much, and let's enjoy our evening. Thanks, Cara, for the great presentation. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thanks, Cara.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.